Welcome back to Flagrant Foul, the podcast built on sports, bad opinions, and whatever chemical is inside a starburst. This week, Todd Monken missed the coach's picture, which honestly feels like the most Browns-adjacent thing to happen all week. The refs are headed for a lockout, which means America is about to learn what happens when the replacement refs have less vision than the current ones. We're also discussing the totally normal and not at all made-up Shedeur versus Deshaun Watson quarterback battle, because apparently Cleveland can never have a quiet Tuesday. The Avs are cooking. Brent Burns refuses to age. McKinnon and Netchus are handing out points like it's tax season, and the Frozen Four is bringing enough chaos to make college football look organized. Then we head to the ECHL, where the Ghost Pirates beat the Gladiators, which sounds less like hockey and more like a fight outside medieval times. Plus, Rich is heading to Kansas City to see if he can finally avenge Higgins head-to-head, or at least not get emotionally humbled in a parking lot. And yes, we'll be ranking Easter candy like the Founding Fathers intended. So grab your jelly beans, question your franchise, and prepare for another completely unnecessary amount of sports yelling. Episode 35 starts now.
Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Take so bold to a flagrant foul. House on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestle and talk about culture, ride from Rich to Nate. It's full court wild. Say back, press play, it's flagrant foul. Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate, episode 35, our special Easter episode. Happy Easter, y'all out there. We got a few things to talk about this week, but Nate, how you doing?
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I was up late waiting for the girls to go to bed so I could play the role of the Easter Bunny.
Wait a minute. What do you mean play the role of the Easter Bunny?
Well, we haven't changed our address, so he doesn't come here. I imagine there's 2 Easter baskets with Claire and I's names on them at your house, just because he goes off like the postal service and whatnot.
Okay. I thought you were getting ready to drop just an absolute news bomb on us there with questioning the existence of the old Easter Bunny, but good recovery. Well, Browns news this week, so we're getting down to it. I think we're 3 weeks out of the draft. Is that right? I think we're about 3 weeks out of the draft. Mm-hmm. Just a little heads up, we'll be getting Big D on the show. I know I keep saying that. We're zeroing in our date, so hopefully HBJ will be joining for some riveting, in-depth draft analysis. But things going on with the Browns this week. You know, I'm not making too much of this because the media only wants to talk about Todd Monken not making the coach's picture. But McVay didn't make it either, so whatever. But I guess when you're the Cleveland Browns and literally can't do anything right, maybe make the picture in the first. Particularly when you're getting a haircut for the picture, you should probably make the picture. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the entire Browns fan base was pretty confused when they announced that Todd Monken was going to be head coach. Didn't take long for everybody to shift their opinion and get on his side, because he seemed to be the guy we were looking for from the little bit that we saw him get into the building and whatnot. But I don't know. You're just started. You can't be doing things like this. We know the Browns. Browns fans, the Browns do the stupidest, I can't even believe that really happened. This fits under that category. I'm not even surprised. I'm just dude, for real? Of course that's the Browns.
Is it a big deal? No. Is it the optics of it? A little bit. We're just sort of whatever. But I'm gonna look until we start doing terrible. I want to stay on this guy's side. So I'm just gonna say glass half full thinking. He cares more about the X's and O's and building relationships with his team than he does about pretty boy behavior like Kevin Magnificent Beard Stefanski did. So you know what? That's fine. It's fine. I was looking at that meeting. That looks like the most boys club thing ever. They're just sitting around the pool drinking beers and stuff in the evening. Looks pretty sweet, but
does look pretty awesome.
Yeah, looks pretty sweet. So some of those guys that I didn't plan on doing this But like, if you got little cliques throughout the NFL, you're at that coaches meeting and you're doing evening beers and you're sitting around, a couple of Chase lounges with like 2 or 3 coaches having some beers with the bros. Give me 2 guys you want to hang with. Who are your 2 coaches you think would be fun beers around the pool with?
I definitely want to hang with Mike Vrabel. He seems like a
Yep.
pretty chill dude. And then also, he seemed in the videos and pictures to be the guy everybody was trying to get to and talk to. Liam Cohen from the Jaguars just looks like a total bro.
Yeah, I'm going Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel, I think. What do you think?
I do think that Dan Campbell is a chill guy.
Here's the only thing.
I don't like the Lions, so
Here's the issue with that though. If you're gonna hang out with 2 guys, like if you're like the bros and we're having beers, the night's gonna digress, right? It's gonna devolve into chaos. And if you're gonna pick 2 coaches where they're gonna like drink 90% of the beer and somebody's getting thrown in the pool and hazed and all that, it's definitely those 2 are going to be the guys that are like chucking you in the pool and with the jokesters. So maybe like one of those guys, and then like, an older coach, or I don't know, low key, I could see the Walrus from Kansas City being a big beer bro potentially, but I would refuse to drink with him.
okay.
All right, well, moving on. I want to get your take on this. It seems, without there being a lot of meat behind all of this, it seems like the media's trying to create some sort of a competition, controversy dynamic with Deshaun Watson and Shedeur. And, I think we've heard some things out of Berea where it's an open competition. Like, you're going to say that, right? Like, you had a guy you paid a lot of money and was a starter and hurt, and you got another guy who was a 5th rounder who played. Like, you're not just going to go, this is our guy. You're going to say, but I personally just don't see it. I mean, I feel like Deshaun is going to have to play so much better, not just better, but like a lot better, because there's a lot of deficiencies from like his personality sucks, the off the field stuff, the fact that we've paid him a lot of money and gave up a lot of draft picks for nothing to basically unseat Shedeur. I don't know. That's my take on it. Like, is this real, or is it, we try to, Mary Kay, she's trying to drum some stuff up. She a buffoon, not a fan of hers. And then I saw some stuff this week with like, he's building off the field chemistry with Jerry Jeudy. I don't care. That's great. You guys can go on your next team and build chemistry. Like, no one cares about Jerry Jeudy anyway. I'm hoping he's like maybe our 3rd receiver here at post-draft. No, he won't be, but I don't know. So, thoughts?
I don't know. Like you said, there's not a lot of information on it. I mean, we haven't seen Deshaun Watson play in how long? And I mean, when he first started playing for Cleveland, he was already years removed and played like trash. So let's go remove him some more, have to face some adversity coming back from an injury. And then he's supposed to be good again. Like, I don't get how that works. Like in SpongeBob, when Squidward gets hit with the door and he becomes handsome, and then gets hit again, and then he's back to normal. So I apparently that's supposed to fix him, I guess. But I don't know. It's hard because I don't know what the consensus is for Browns fans in terms of whether people do or don't like Shedeur. I don't think that there's anything like personality-wise. I think that everybody likes Shedeur and would, of course, want Shedeur over Deshaun just because of Deshaun's like personal whatevers. But like if I don't know, because it also goes with like this Myles Garrett trade rumors. Like if the Browns people are already mad that they're moving the stadium. Then they go and trade Myles Garrett. And then they're like, oh, guess what? Also, Deshaun's playing. Literally no one's going to any of these games. They're going to be like, screw this team. You guys are doing the complete opposite of anything we've ever wanted. That being said, we're paying Deshaun a lot of money. I expect him to play at the beginning of the year, and then Shedeur will probably take over. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I just feel like that's the way that it seems like everybody's leaning towards. I would love for Shedeur to just be the guy. I don't know. Mary Kay talking about taking Ty Simpson at 6. I'm pretty sure she's brain dead. Her heard about, I think it was Anthony Richardson, which we've been talking about, like obviously could be a potential trade candidate. And then Will Levis, terrible. I don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
I heard those names this week. So I don't know. I really don't foresee them adding another quarterback. Well, I do, but like a real one. I mean, obviously they're going to add some people for camp and um, probably like a third to make the roster, unless they keep the Dylan Gabriel, which I don't see that happening either. I feel like he's got to get traded. But
Yeah.
if they keep the
I,
three they have, I could see them just staying put. And at that point, if you have the three quarterbacks in that room, I don't see how, like, Deshaun Watson has to be Tom Brady level to get the nod over Shador. Even if he's playing better, like, I think Browns fans would be okay with a above average Shador versus a balling out Deshaun Watson just because everybody hates him.
I kind of agree with you. Going to Dylan, you just mentioned, I think it is interesting. There's comments like, if you're a guy who's trying to be like, okay, it's a new year, I want to show what I can do and potentially make this team. You, even as a backup, like I want to stay in the NFL, you think he would be around the team? He obviously feels, in my opinion, I think he feels strongly enough to know that he's either going to be cut or moved. So
That's
he's
kind of
not
how it
really
feels like to
focusing it
me.
on
Like
there.
he's removed
Yeah.
himself from the team.
Yeah.
And it is an unfortunate situation for him. I mean, he was a Big Ten champion, got you after the third round. Most times, like that person, that quarterback going in the third round, like they're going to get a fair shot at. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like everybody hated him from the beginning, especially with going and getting Shador after him.
Yeah.
He was set up to fail. I think a fresh start is in order for him. If I were him, I wouldn't play here. I wouldn't want to be here. They kind of did him dirty.
Yeah.
And I do think that he should go. I would not be surprised if Stefanski went and tried to get him to Atlanta, but I also think that would be kind of weird going with three quarterbacks in Atlanta, all lefties. That's
I
got to be like
mean,
the first time that's ever happened.
yeah, I think, it's Easter, so I'm going to show a little empathy. Like, you and I have been critical of Dylan Gabriel, but like at the end of the day, all they did was like, he played, he was drafted, and like those are not things of his choosing. And he went out there and he's given the opportunity and didn't play well. So it's not really a knock on him. Like, yeah, it's a tough situation for him to be in. Also we addressed last week, minimal fact checking on this show, but as I was going through some news articles this week and reading comments, there was unsubstantiated claims of seeing Dylan driving around in a rental car in Atlanta this week. So I don't know.
I really would not be surprised because I mean, from the day he got to Cleveland, is like he was Stefanski's guy. He wanted him.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know. I just don't There's a lot of like question marks with Dylan. If he could figure it out, like great, but like he's short. He's a lefty, which like how many left-handed quarterbacks are in the league right now? They're all dying in Atlanta. That I could think
I
of.
think he could be a
Um,
okay backup in this league because he's smart. He's got some pro smarts to him. A guy to be like, emergency, we need you to come in, take care of the ball. We're in a game that we're already leading, or hey, we need you to start next week, and maybe a 50-50 of you winning a game here and there. Like, I think he could be a serviceable
I just
backup.
don't see how a team could be like, okay, this guy's short. Let's think about short quarterbacks. Oh, Kyler Murray, number 1 overall pick. That didn't work out. Then okay, let's look at like some
That's
left-handed quarterbacks. Tua, Michael Penix. Like Tua's college career was better than Dylan Gabriel's. Like if you were gonna go based on like accolades, and right now I would say Tua's a better quarterback than Dylan. Just have been being in the league longer than him and having that experience. So
for
it's
sure.
like I don't understand a team. I mean, maybe a team. I'm trying to think. Like a Pittsburgh that's probably going to bring Aaron Rodgers back, but they have Will Howard. Like I think that's probably a really good situation for Will Howard. And like in a year or two after not playing, I think that like he could be pretty good, similar to like what Packers did. Like somewhere like that that's got a fairly old quarterback, like the Rams with Stafford. Like go there and try to like learn a lot of stuff and then like become something. Like he's not going to just go make a difference. He's not going. If he gets traded to Atlanta, he's not going to play. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. Going back to Shador, I wanted to touch on a couple things that I think, a guy should he be a drafted in the 5th round? I don't know. Was he? Yes. But I do find it comical as more time goes on. Some of the knocks, like to your point, I think people like him personally. What he's brought to the city, what he's brought to the team, the guys in the locker room, he's a good guy.
Mhm.
Is he has not been a distraction. As we've seen, they try to make a distraction out of the speeding ticket. Meanwhile, Miles is,
Got
out
like
pretend
7
play.
of them since that.
Yeah. He's out playing F1 around the greater Cleveland area in one of his supercars. But, some other things I've seen, like one of the knocks was holds on to the ball too much, pats the ball. Have you seen any of the footage of any of the leading up to the draft workouts of Fernando Mendoza? Does a lot of patting
A
of the
lot
ball.
of people do that. A lot of people do that. And that's
So
another
it's,
thing
but it's
that's like
funny, but we're just going to critique a guy
that's another thing
like
that's
got
like when you take Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun, and Shador right now, 3 quarterbacks in Cleveland. Deshaun, what, he's 30 now? Like,
Mhm.
you're not changing Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson plays like Deshaun Watson. Dylan Gabriel, you could teach him how to not hold on to the ball. You could teach him how to, um, what was it, not pat it,
Yeah.
but he's still going to be short.
You
So
can't teach him to be
that's what I'm
taller.
saying. That's what I'm saying though. Like Shador, I'm not saying Shador's like the biggest, like the perfect build for a quarterback, but like when you take a look at like what they have, you can make Shador a better football player, and like with his size, it can be serviceable. Like I would love if Shador was a fantastic quarterback. Like you said, there's no question that Shador is a good dude. And I think he's made a very strong effort to show that to Cleveland, prove everybody wrong. Um, but I don't know. I just think what they have can work. With the rest of the team, if they build up around him, I think that he would be fine.
I mean, just look at the game film even last year with him compared to Dylan. It's like, were there some balls tipped? Yeah, but look at he did a better job with his size and scrambling of not having the tip balls, and you saw it with Dylan, which was exactly what was
I
a
would
concern.
disagree. Shador threw like 4 or 5 interceptions from tipped passes.
How many were receivers popping the ball up in the air? Not a
That
lineman
was a
getting
Joe
a hand
Flacco
on it.
thing. That was a Joe Flacco thing. I think if you look back, Shador had a lot of tip passes that resulted in picks. But what? Shador is 6'2". So
Why do you
I
hate
mean,
him now?
I'm just saying, but like I just don't see Deshaun Watson. I know I said he would have to be playing like Tom Brady to get the nod, but even if he does, like you could put Tom Brady, you could put Patrick Mahomes on this team, we still don't have anybody that's going to catch the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
So it truly doesn't matter the quarterback situation. Like I feel like this is the first time truly where we're like, we don't need to go get our guy. Like if Shador happens to be good for like the next 2-3 years or whatever, like I think that there's a lot of other things that like if those were addressed, they could be a solid team. And it's not the quarterback is not the first area to address. And if like you go with Mary Kane, you go grab Ty Simpson at 6. Now you've got Shador, Dylan, Ty Simpson, and Deshaun. Like that makes no sense to me. You have no veteran presence in that locker room. Like what they should do is probably get rid of Dylan Gabriel and then go get like and it doesn't need to be a fantastic quarterback, but go get somebody like Andy Dalton. I don't know. It's just trying to think of somebody old. It's like been there. Like they need
You would
mentor.
immediately
Like
be
a Joe
going into this.
Flacco would have been
Yeah.
okay. Like I didn't like him when he was here. I thought he played like trash, but like he's the kind of guy that's like I've been here, I've done this. This is like things that maybe I wish I did, or things that like you should make sure you're focusing on as you begin your career. Like that would be helpful, and maybe Monken being an older guy with more connections, and maybe he can bring a coach in like that. I don't know, but I think that is a bigger area of like bringing in a veteran. You could say Deshaun Watson's a veteran all you want, but that dude has barely played, it feels like.
Yeah. I think the difference with like Joe, if you could bring a veteran in that was happy to be a backup quarterback and be part of a collective, Joe wants to play. He wants to be the starter, and that's going to create a little bit of noise. And on a team that you had last year going into the season, like he absolutely should be considered because you didn't have much. But I would argue if you could just find like a solid, like you brought, I know he re-signed, but like, let's say you had brought like Snoop Huntley in with the 2 that you have right now, we're immediately going into the season significantly stronger, in my opinion, quarterback room than we did last year with Pickett and a hurt Watson and Joe on the downside and 2 rookies. We didn't know what was up. So it'll be interesting. Maybe there's a very similar to what we did with Pickett last year. Maybe there's a Dylan for another backup change of venue out there trade that we can make. Who knows? We'll see. But one last thing I was going to go back to with regarding Deshaun, a guy who was a Pro Bowl caliber, he had sat off the field issues. You look at games where like he looked really bad and then ended up pulling off some stuff at the end of the game to win. There were a couple very much. How's that different than Shadur? And, as far as holding on to the ball, man, I know you and I were frustrated the last time we watched him as a starter. I mean, roll the ball. Now, I guess that speaks to, you want to sit there and be like, you're holding on to the ball too long. Or are we saying Cleveland has not had a receiving core in years, so guys aren't getting open? So,
No, I will say that Deshaun, I know he was holding on to the ball. His decision-making was terrible. Looked like he wasn't confident. Shador has shown the same. I don't remember if Dylan was showing that. But I think back to like the end of Baker being here. He was doing the same thing too. So is that Stefanski and the scheme?
Possibly.
Who knows? That coaching staff? I mean, maybe that's part of the issue. Because you've got 3 quarterbacks with all the same problems.
Fair. Well, yeah, like I said, it's going to be an interesting. I'm sort of excited to like next 4 to 5 weeks, draft free agent signings, start talking about like rookie mini camps and stuff and start moving on to seeing like, hey, here's what we're going to have. And we can start focusing on our Super Bowl next year because we're a delusional fan base. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, Guardians home opener the other day. Chase the GOAT, DeLauder, continuing his reign of terror at the plate.
He's so goated.
Dude, that home run he hit in the home opener was just like... as soon as he started his swing, he was like, "This is God."
Yeah, just thank you. Come again.
Watched it go out. I love it. So I don't know. I haven't followed a ton of the guards, but I would say, not a bad start so far. Are we 500 or are we game over? I think, not a bad start.
I think we went 2-2 or 2-3 versus Seattle. I can't remember how many games they played.
We went 2-2 in the Seattle series,
and then I think they went 2-1 versus LA, and then they've only played 1 versus the Cubs, if I'm correct. I don't know if they played Thursday, Friday, or if they just played Friday. And they were supposed to play yesterday, but the game was postponed.
I'm gonna let you keep going, and then I'm gonna shut you down. The 5-3 Central Division leading Cleveland Guardians.
That's why I said 2-2 and then 2-1. That adds up. Yeah. Then they played the Cubs. 1 game. They won that. They were supposed to play yesterday, but the game was postponed because thunderstorm or whatever.
Oh, look, we usually are supposed to. This is Guardians baseball. Anybody who is up for contract renewal, they're gone. Unless you're, you end up getting Jose, who loves Cleveland and is an absolute dog and will stay. But for the most part, they're gone. So you're going to go into every season with, we got a bunch of like hard working, put our hard hat on, and young people. Let's see what we got. And we're going to hover around 500 or less to the All-Star break. And then if we think these guys are overachieving, we'll make a couple moves, and then we're making the postseason, or we mail it in. So that's Guardians baseball. The fact that, we're 5-3 after the first week, we're winning the home opener. We went to the West Coast and got a split against Seattle. We found an absolute stick at frickin' as a rookie this year. I think things are looking good for the Guardians. So,
I have been hearing, don't know if we necessarily need him. He's a shortstop. I think Bazana, the guy we took number 1 overall a couple of years ago, I think he was a shortstop, and now he's like making the switch to second. Again, we don't know ball in baseball.
We're going to do better following this year.
I'm pretty sure he's switching to second, whatever. Don't know if we necessarily need him, but Francisco Lindor and the Mets are, that relationship is coming to an end quite soon here. I would love to see Lindor back. I don't think it would happen, but I just love Lindor. So that would be insane if they got him back.
You could unretire your Lindor jersey although that's probably not fitting, but I did just see
definitely
that
not. Definitely not.
But yeah, we're gonna do a better job with MLB this year. Rockies here in Colorado, horrible team. have looked like trash. But Nate and I will be checking them out so that we can see them play the Dodgers here in a few weeks. Mostly so we can go drink $3 Coors Light and $5 Smash Burger prior to the game. But yeah, we'll be checking that out here in about a little less than 2 weeks, man. So should be fun. Just quick segue over into the NBA. Cavs have clinched playoff berth, so the number 4 at the moment. Probably will finish that way, but they're in. So I guess we shall see.
I
what
heard
happens.
that that's where they want to stay. They're trying to quietly stay put. So throw in a couple games because I think that sets them up the best for the playoffs. That's what the speculations are, that they want to stay put at 4.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving over, I got some hockey talk. I got a lot of hockey talk this week, and I'm going to start from before we hit the juggernaut that is the Colorado Avalanche, who, basically what I've seen in the last week is when we're just kind of like, whatever, we know we're good, we'll let some goals in and our backup goalies buns. But like when we want to be like, oh, so you guys want to question, are we the most dominant team? You see what we saw yesterday, but we'll get into, but a couple other things around the league. So again, Ghost Pirates needed that. They cling on. I think they have a 4 or 5 point lead. We're winding down. We're at 5 or 6 games left in the season, so they beat the Everblades the other night. We're clinging on to that 4th spot. I believe that's the South Division, so hopefully we can finish off. I know we're now. We can make the old playoffs, but they needed that. I believe. Let me check. The old. I turned the note. We had a discussion about turning the notifications off on the ECHL app. And now I'm finding myself missing it because they were doing a good job.
Oh, yeah, I turned a lot of notifications off, and I don't even think they've played in the past, how many weeks since they did that, because I haven't got anything. And it's honestly been glorious. I feel like I'm out of prison. I don't know. I was just dude, constantly bing, bang, bam.
Big game against the Gladiators in 2 days. On Tuesday, but yeah, this is a big week. We gotta seal the deal, get in the playoffs, win or lose once they hit there. Now I'm hoping they'll make some noise, but I will say I sort of feel like to the upper of the ECHL, I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of upsets going on in these postseason series, but one can wish, so we will see. Next weekend, this is something we don't talk about enough, but it's fun, and this is quite on the Frozen Four, man. So we got Wisconsin, North Dakota, and Michigan, Denver this coming weekend. That Michigan Denver game is going to be an absolute barn burner. Pretty exciting. Number 1 ranked Michigan. DU, perennial juggernaut. You don't count them out.
Hey, they're about to go. They're about to win it, and they'll do a combined parade with the Avs again this year.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with regards to all of our rooting fan bases and that is the sport of hockey not only runs through the U.S., but specifically through Denver, Colorado. Like DU, Colorado Avalanche, just year after year.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those players are from Denver? Don't ask. But the fact of the matter is the team they play for is located in Denver.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
Yeah, well, you said it runs through Denver. None of them are from Denver, but
they are now.
They wear the Colorado flag on their jerseys. So, how you doing?
Straight up. But yeah, that should be good. So I have to check when these games are, because that might be next week when you're home. We might have to catch some of this, dude. We got they're both on Thursday, so that's sort of both. But Saturday is a championship at 3:30 p.m. So we need to pull up somewhere, watch a little of that. Maybe we can find somewhere cool downtown.
If you're using it, that'd be sick.
Yeah, particularly hit up a little trading card con. We talked about, but all right, so let's transition over to the Avalanche. As I said, huge matchup. So the beginning of the week, basically, we needed 8 points to seal the deal on the division and the number 1 seed. And the way that worked is 2 points for a win, and that is either an Avs wins or Dallas losses. Opportunity to 2 points. So basically going into, so we had a stinker the other night.
First Vancouver.
We played yeah, that was, I'm not going to get into it, but, I'm not even going to get mad about it. Blackwood, whatever. Scott Wedgwood, Wedge Wall, he is an impenetrable fortress in goal. When they want to play defense, what we did yesterday to Dallas with Kel McCarr not even being in, I wouldn't call him a defensive specialist, but he is a okay two-way player and a huge offensive upside. But that was a 4-point swing. So we took an opportunity for a win away from Dallas, and
Is
we won those 2
there
points.
conversation? I don't know. I'm sure Dallas fans are crying because Ottinger wasn't playing. Have you heard?
No, and we don't care.
Okay.
Whatever. I know we're about to break the curse on Jake Ottinger, but anyway, 4-point swing. So basically, I believe we have 7 games left, and Dallas has 5 games left. And basically, the only possible way they could win the division is if we go 0-7 and go 5-0, which is not happening.
They're about
And
to
we own
clinch it
every
tonight
type.
versus the Blues.
Yeah. So that would be sweet. What that gets us. So the way the seeding, and I hate this. We need to talk about NHL. They need to basically reseed each round. So if you're the 1 seed, you're going to play the 8, and then you go to the second round, you play the lowest seed in the conference. They need that. I mean, that's the way it should be. But what the NHL wants to do is they want to keep teams in it through the second round in each of the 4 divisions from a build hockey, which I get it, but from a fairness, let's be for real. If Dallas beats the Wild and we win out, and then we should be playing them in the Western Conference Final. We should be playing the Wild in the Western Conference Final. Having to play either of those teams in the second round is stupid, particularly when the Pacific is straight trash. Let's be for real. I'll give Utah some props, whatever. They're okay. The Oilers are poop. There's some teams that I think are good, solid teams, but Pacific as a whole is a trash division. So basically what we have is we're going to have to play the number 2 wild card. That may go down to the wire, right? We got potentially there's if it ends today, we would play the Sharks, but the Kings are in it, and trying to remember the other team, but it's basically like a 3-way. It might be the Ducks, a fight for that last wild card. We should walk through that. I will say I want the Kings to win. I have a little bit of a soft spot for the Kings because of Gretzky days, and I do like Anze Kopitar, and this is probably his last year, and I'd like to see him finish it out on a playoff team, even if they do go 1 and done. I think that would be cool for him. So I'm rooting for the Kings to make it. But then we ought to play the winner of the Dallas Wild series next, and while that sucks to play it in the second round, if we have a soft Pacific team and those two have to beat the shit out of each other, I love it. So I'm really hoping that's the way it goes. Preferably, I mean, both those teams are equally as good. I don't think Dallas is playing great hockey right now. I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but just because of Dallas seems to be in our head a little bit, I would love to play the Wild over. We are going to lock in home ice throughout, but that win yesterday also put the Wild within 4 points of Dallas. Now you're talking, it's irrelevant because they're playing each other first round, but Wild could steal home ice for that series. So that's what we're hoping happens. I would say, in the same things I'm talking about with seeding, that's not just me being as a Colorado fan going oh, it's bullshit. We're gonna have to play with the second and third best team in the West in the second round. Same thing goes in the East. Basically, you're gonna have Buffalo playing Tampa Bay in the second round. That's a conference final. And really what I think the difference is, you have the 3 best teams all in the Central out West. You have 2 best teams, in the East that'll play each other in the second round. But then you have Carolina that is a solid third team that basically is going to walk their way to the Eastern Conference Final, which that sort of sucks for them, for, Buffalo. I'd love to see Buffalo make the Stanley Cup, mostly because there's just some postseason magic with Tampa. I don't want to play them, and I also don't want to look at John Cooper's stupid face crying for an entire Stanley Cup final. So we'll see, but a lot going on.
Do you know at what point the Avs clinched the President's Cup, and could perhaps that last game of the season that we're going to be the game that they get the President's Cup? Because that would be sick.
Let me take a peek.
I'm looking at it right now. They're at 110. Carolina's at 104, and Tampa's at 102. That's probably the only 2 teams that are going to catch them. The thing is, the Avalanche, this is so crazy. The Avalanche have played less games than everybody in the league except for St. Louis.
Let me throw a wrench in that, though. I'm almost positive fact check me on this because I did look at that this week. I don't know that it goes on points. I think it goes on wins. And if it's wins, that's a really tight race that could very well come down to that last game. I will say this. If we go into the last game of the year that you and I will be tending against the Kraken and we have everything
It
locked
says
up
that
other than
it's awarded annually to the NHL team with the best regular season record, in quotations, most points.
Okay.
So you're wrong.
I would say this, though.
I don't know if I want that.
Once in a while, I'm wrong. Here's the thing. If they have everything locked down and they're going to last game and they want to make sure that they got everybody healthy, the Avs couldn't give two shits about winning them.
I don't want it.
I don't think I think they would be like, we don't care. Like, literally, we're bringing everybody from the Eagles up this year to play in that game, but we'll see what happens. Some cool things. So I think, Mac is at 51 points. I'd love to see him win the, what is it? Is it the Art Ross for, the Art Ross is for the leading scorer. I don't think he's going to catch McDavid and, I can never pronounce his name. Kucherov.
Oh.
No, Kucherov. I think it will be tough for him too. I think he can win if he has most goals, he'll get the Maurice, the Rocket Richard, which would be cool. It's a trophy he doesn't have. I'd like to see him snag that to add it to his extensive trophy case. Cole Caulfield, man, is on his ass. I think he's one of the only ones with a realistic shot at catching him. So I'm hoping McKinnon can seal the deal on that. The other thing I'm sort of watching out for is Netchus has a shot at let me look at the things. Netchus has a shot at 100 points. He's at 94 right now with 7 to play, and he's at 36 goals. Having him go 40 goals and 100 points just solidifies the contract we set him to, particularly when, he's at 94, so I think he's got a good 21 points on Rance, who granted was hurt, but that's not the point. So I'd love to see that. And then we got to shout out, the Iron Man, Brett, Sasquatch Burns with 1,000 consecutive games. Like, those Iron Man stats, these guys that play over 1,000 games in the league, period, is, playing 500 games in the show is crazy. Playing 1,000 games and then 1,000 games is a high level. The guy's got, depending on how much longer he wants to play, I think he's got a legitimate shot at 1,000 points as a defenseman. But 1,000 consecutive games in that sport is insane. So shout out to him. I think it's the second longest Iron Man streak. I think Phil Kessel's got the first. So we'll see. But what an amazing career he's had. That's pretty cool. So any other Avs NHL news you want to touch on? I think we pretty extensively covered what was going on. But yeah, thoughts? Okay. Well, folks, this is the part where we move on from the sports part of the show where Nate and I start talking some nonsense because, quite honestly, I have some thoughts on some things. And number one being, I will be headed to Kansas City tomorrow for work. Spend a day in KC in the office, and I'm going up to Omaha for a couple days, and I'll be back in KC. But I'm taking a task with me, and that's to have some conversations with some native Kansas City fans of the Chiefs and find out, is anybody going to be for real and admit that the missed Higgins helmet that I'm not going to let go was a non-call and is bullshit? A. And B, I want to find out if any people are like, can we just all admit you're getting calls, right? You're getting some calls. And I would tell you from the handful of folks that I've talked to there already, the overconfidence about their team is at an all-time high. They're like, we're reloading. We're already reloading. We're going to come back next year. Super Bowl. Like, did you forget your quarterback, is still rehabbing? I'll be shocked if he starts
but they got Justin Fields, bro.
Guy? Screw that team. They're not winning their own conference next year or their own
It's going to be the Broncos.
I think so, which that makes me want to throw up a little bit. I would rather see the Chiefs over the Broncos, but whatever.
Or unless Fernando Mendoza takes the Raiders to the Promised Land, which I think would be sick. The Raiders being good again.
Yeah.
The Chargers are, I think, always going to have a ceiling. I don't know. I feel like they've gotten nowhere with Justin Herbert. Farther than the Browns.
I think that's kind of like, I guess it's not necessarily like, if you look at baseball, I guess the Dodgers sort of own, but that's a money thing. You look at the NBA, I guess the Lakers. You look at football, I guess the 49ers and maybe the Rams. But the thing in California is there's just way too much other things to do for teams to be just like rooting for them and them to be good. But I guess I just disproved that series because they definitely have their share of championships in that state. So anyway, you've completely sidetracked me and I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so my trip next week. Then I'll be heading up to Omaha. I've driven through Omaha, particularly with Nate, about 600 times, but have never spent more than a second in Omaha. So it'd be cool. Check out home of the Little League World Series. So, maybe do a little walk around, find out, hopefully maybe see somewhere where those events are held. But I'll be interested. I want to know what's the vibe of the sports team in a small, big city, I'm going to call that. Like, that's not a major city, but it's also probably the big city in Nebraska. So I'm interested. They got to have some, they got the Little League World Series. What else is there? Isn't Creighton there? From a NCAA, so maybe the basketball fans. I got to think most of those folks are rooting the university, are Huskers fans. What do we got for minor league sports there?
I don't know, but I wanted to correct you here.
Of course.
The Little League World Series is not there.
It's in Omaha, is it not?
College World Series is in Omaha.
Where's the Little League World Series?
I don't know if it changes every year, but apparently this year it's in...
Okay, my bad, bro.
Oh, no, this is Annual Premier Youth Baseball Tournament held in August in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So, you're wrong. It's fine. We're willing to look past it.
Okay,
but
what did we say last week?
The fact checkers are going to come for you on that.
Wait a minute. You know what we said? We're in the ballpark, but I knew there was a big baseball.
There's They play baseball in Omaha, similar to everywhere around the entire U.S.
There's a championship played every year.
You're heading to Kansas
Omaha.
City where they play baseball.
Okay, I just pulled Omaha. We got to see what we got here for teams.
There's
NCAA
something there.
College World
There's something
Series
there.
at Charles Schwab Field. I also think that's like an insurance center, isn't it? Omaha's like a big. That's like their deal in Omaha is insurance. I don't know. Also, what else do we have here?
Creighton is there.
They've hosted the Division I women's volleyball championships. Creighton is there. The Blue Jays. Okay.
They got the Omaha Beef indoor football. That sounds like
NCAA. They got the Omaha Mavericks. Men's NCAA ice hockey. International League, the Storm Chasers. They got a USHL team, the Lancers, the Beef, the Omaha Beef.
I just said that.
I know, but they hadn't registered. The Beef. Wait a minute. They have a pro volleyball team.
I was just thinking about that. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that existed. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to find out the vibe, and we'll come back to you. I'll let you know how it goes. Moving on from my little trip. It is Easter. Happy Easter, everybody, yet again. Nate and I. I don't think these days, I don't think kids realize how good they have it. TV, any movie you want to see, you can pretty much see it at any time from the comfort of your own home. A lot of times for free on any of your streaming platforms or for a small pay-per-view fee. Like that's one way. Getting around. An Uber ride is but an app away to go anywhere you want. There's just a lot of creature comforts. But, I played Old Man Jenkins a lot on this show, talking about, we talked about Halloween. How it's just not the same. I hearken back to the days of yore, my youth and things being better. But I am going to give this one up. The jelly beans in today's day and age are exponentially better than what we had growing up. First of all, no one's trying to roll out. When we were growing up, at best, you spent money and got the high-end Brock's. I think that's jelly beans, which also included white and black jelly beans. Like, come on now. We're not trying to eat black licorice or like the white even have a taste. Like those were terrible. But now you got Jolly Rancher jelly beans. You got Starburst, and you got multiple different kinds. You got the Nerds jelly beans. You got Sweet Tart jelly beans. What else am I missing? Because if you go to the store, I've seen like Hawaiian Punch jelly beans. Like they're out of control. But so much better, dude. So I was gonna ask, like, let's do a ranking. Like, what's your favorite jelly bean? I'm gonna And I think you got to go. I'll give you my thoughts. Pound for pound, people are going to sit there and be like, the Nerds jelly beans bring a good consistency of like crunch, sour, tartness, jelly bean form. But pound for pound, to me, in consistency, Starburst jelly beans take the cake. Thoughts on
Okay.
this subject?
I agree. There's nothing can compete with Starburst jelly beans. I tried the wild berry ones yesterday. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, I don't know. So, like, this wasn't as highly debated as I thought maybe it would be, but I will say another invention of probably even go back like 20 to 30 years. So this like my time predates the plastic eggs. Like the plastic eggs were available that you now fill with jelly beans. The Easter
Mhm.
Bunny fills with jelly beans, puts in your stocking. Back in my day,
It's a basket.
there was the grass, which we can get into the grass in the basket, completely unnecessary. The packing peanut of the Easter basket is the grass, but they would just be loose in your basket. They'd just be like definitely getting stale overnight.
You're like
but then
going in between the grass trying to grab the jelly beans on the bottom
Yeah.
of the basket.
But also us children of the 70s where it wasn't like, now kids have like, I have like a good 17 to 27 Easter baskets because I get an actual new Easter basket every year or bucket or whatever. Like, the children of the 70s, gas shortages, we're grandparents of the Great Depression. We're being, smart, thrifty. We reuse. You had the same basket for like 15 years of your life. And not only do you have the same basket, you reuse the grass in the basket every year. So that's one thing I would say, like, early 80s, you're like, oh, we got to get the Easter baskets out for the Easter Bunny. And you go, you'd go in your attic or in your crawl or wherever to get your Easter baskets out. And you'd have the grass that was like 10 years old. There's not much like finding the random jelly bean from like a hopefully just last Easter. And you'd be like, oh, I'm still eating this thing. It's going to, it's going to taste as stale as any other year. It's fine. We don't know what these things are made of, so it's probably like a lot of preservatives. But like, yeah, so like that doesn't happen anymore. It's interesting. But thoughts on the Easter grass? It's a you know what it is? It's basically like as far as like holidays go, and you have like and Alpha birthdays, and then you have wrappings and Halloween candy buckets and all that kind of stuff. It's like having your treat holder basically be a German Shepherd. It's just full of like this grass. It's just like getting lost and all over the house. It's unnecessary. What are your thoughts? I mean, like, is the Easter Bunny, like it's candy in there. Like we have to carefully prepackage this stuff does he have, what is it? How does he go around? Does he have a sleigh?
I think he has a big basket and he hops around. I've never seen him personally, so I'm not sure. I mean,
does he have to
throw the security cameras out?
I want to know the genesis of the grass in the Easter basket. Is this like going way back when like literally you actually got a real egg and you had to carefully package the basket so the egg didn't break in it?
Possible.
Again, unfact checked. But if I find out I'm right about this, y'all gonna hear about this till next Easter. But I just don't understand it.
I don't understand the point of it. It drives me crazy. It gets everywhere. It's unnecessary. Not to mention, a bag of grass costs 12 cents to make, surely. $4? $4 for that? Like, literally, the purpose of that is to put in this basket one day, the next day, throw it in the trash. $4.
Yeah.
That should be like 90 cents tops.
I don't get it, but I have so many thoughts about Easter. This one just popped in my head too. Is just like these generations today, because we've continued to up the ante, have just gotten away from the meaning. It's just like Christmas. It used to be like, what's the one thing you got, like your big gift for Christmas, and like that was it. Now everybody gets 675 presents, completely overdone. Halloween I won't count. Birthdays you can go the same way, just like presents out the wazoo. Tooth Fairy used to be like, if you lose a tooth, you get 50 cents, maybe $1, depending on the type of the importance of the tooth. If it's an incisor or a bicuspid, could get you maybe like $1.50 or something. But now it's just like people are getting like full on like toys
$20,
and shit like that.
$50.
Easter used to be like Halloween. It was about candy.
You get candy.
You get the chocolate
you get candy. You might get like a little Easter themed toy of some sort.
Now people are getting like a $100 PS5 gift card in there.
Dude, I saw someone at Walmart yesterday walking out, has a cart with 2 bikes in it. 2 little girl bikes.
I'm
like,
so at $4 a bag for Easter grass, how much Easter grass do you have to get for the basket for the Easter bikes?
dude, you just put them in the real grass, I think.
Oh, I'm getting at is you're diminishing the holiday because you're just increasing expectations. Like,
yeah, and then
these holidays
each year
were
you
about,
have to go crazier and crazier.
Yes,
like,
this was about appreciation and spending time for the treat that you got and spending time with your family. And now it's about you just
obviously there's other underlying like religion and things like that for Easter and Christmas and not Thanksgiving, but like the main purpose of these holidays in my eyes is like the times of the year you like get it together with your family, you have a nice dinner, you all chop it up. And then anything additional is just a plus. But now it's like, I don't get out of bed for $300 in my Easter basket.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't realize I was going to have this rush of emotion over Easter with the thoughts, but we went on extensively about Thanksgiving food and how turkeys are ass. But Easter, on the other hand, Easter ham, so delicious. I will put that, I would say, like, go to Easter main course ham, and pound for pound, probably the best.
Ham
and
is
it doesn't
good,
even really matter.
sure.
Like, we're not doing draft, but I'm just going in on like, Beans and I today. We're going ham. We're going potatoes.
You're going ham?
We're going ham on the ham. Deviled eggs. Deviled eggs are delicious.
They are. They're pretty good.
Wait a minute. I got a great deviled egg story for you. So, like, I know this. You moved out on your own first place here over the last year. So there's been a lot of like emergency phone calls to Beans. Like, what do I cook chicken at? How long? How long do I boil an egg? Things like that. So, and I can tell you, being of my age, I won't divulge. I'm always having to look up how long to boil an egg. I can't retain that information.
Every time I boil an egg, I have to text Mom.
But it's something around it's something around like once the water boils, like 8 to 14
I can never remember
or something,
if
right?
you like put the eggs in first and then bring it to a boil, or if you boil the water then put the eggs in and then. But I'm pretty sure you put the eggs in from the start. I'll have to ask.
Well,
Mom.
that's how I've been doing it. But here's the deal: Beans and I made wings yesterday from frozen in the air fryer. We're delicious. The Kinder Hot Honey barbecue is unworldly. Is so good. But anyway, just think of the amount of time that takes. Okay. And I'm gonna preface this by we were busting our ass around the house yesterday, so we felt like. We earned a beer because, the house has to be immaculate and redone before Bean's baby boy comes home. So I got put to work. So we earned a beer. We went out. We had a couple beers. And we came home. We kept it rolling. We watched a movie. We were making wings. But Beans wanted to make deviled eggs for today, Easter, right? We put the eggs in the water, put them on to boil, made our wings, ate our wings.
They're
2 rounds
still
worth,
boiling.
came back, eggs boiling the entire time. Well, well over an hour. I go over there, the pot, not a speck of water left in the pot. 2 of the eggs were trying to escape the shell, just crying for help. I was like, I just walked to the kitchen. I was like,
Did you bust them open?
But I'll tell you what. Also interesting. Apparently, when you boil the water out, you kind of can't overcook them. So we boiled 5 eggs, and like 4 of them were fine. So anyway, sorry for the side tangent, but yeah, that happened yesterday. But we're going deviled eggs. We're going with some rolls. You could also throw some baked beans in there, but yeah, Easter dinner is absolutely delicious. But then I also wanted to ask you, we're going to do a really quick one. We'll try to do 3 rounds, but real quick, this is rapid fire. We're drafting, okay? Holiday mascots. Your Easter Bunny. Oh, we'll throw Tooth Fairy. Your Tooth Fairy. Your I don't even know if they're. Let's do 4. Let's just do 2 rounds of that. You got the Leprechaun from St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so let's go. You just got the number 1 pick. Who's up first?
It doesn't have. Never mind. Santa.
Yeah, Papa Noel's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He's Fernando Mendoza in any draft on any year. Okay.
All right.
So who do we got left? We got the Thanksgiving turkey, we got the Tooth Fairy, we got the Easter Bunny, and we have the leprechaun from St. Patrick's Day. And I'm gonna throw a loop at you because I'm indifferent. I'm gonna go the St. Patrick's Day leprechaun, and here's why: because he is a version of him is a mascot to our favorite NCAA football team. Also, he serves, but to just bring happiness and green beers. There's no additional agenda here. Like, oh, the leprechaun didn't bring me a pot of candy with a PlayStation 5 gift card in it. No, he's just existing on a day of fun. So I'm going with that one. What you got?
I do think you're forgetting. I would like the Halloween pumpkin. That I feel like that should count.
That's good.
Maybe like Cupid if you want to go
Yeah.
Valentine's Day-ish.
Here's my thing though with Cupid. In today's day and age, okay, with social media and cameras everywhere and just like people trying to be better people, I'm not trying to get, I'm not trying to have some freaking baby in a diaper flying around with like a heart arrow trying to shoot me in the ass. That just seems...
Fair point. That could be perceived out of context. That situation is not a good look.
Yeah.
Definitely not
in the right context, your significant other's like, you are just a modern day Don Juan. Like, this isn't a magical day, February 14th. Out of context, you're getting canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think you gotta tiptoe lightly around Cupid. Okay. Okay, is that who do you got? We're in second.
We're still
round
doing
now.
2 rounds, or you want to do 3?
We'll do 3 now.
All right. Well, I've already won the draft. Because you think of any holiday, you think of Santa, and you think of the Thanksgiving turkey, and that right there is a win.
Okay, here's where I got you on this. So you have the Tom Brady of holiday mascots in Father Christmas, but then you came back in the second round with the turkey, who we've already said tastes like ass, but also you're not eating
Santa. This
but
is just like
but that's just
marketing,
goes to the
advertising.
overall...
Like Thanksgiving is the turkey. The turkey is on everything. We got plates, we got napkins, we got shirts, we got everything.
Who's he throwing to?
The turkey.
He's throwing to the turkey. The turkey's got like 2 legs he's standing on.
What's your point?
I don't know what this has to do with anything. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I just had a thought. To further back up our point that turkey is terrible tasting. Turkey is a bird, okay? Aviary. What do they call it? What species, or what's another name for that? Fowl. F-O-W-L. Very closely related to F-O-U-L. Further perpetuating our point. The turkey
We're talking about
gross.
Mascots and their brand.
Okay.
We're not talking about eating them. You're not eating the leprechaun. You're not eating Santa.
I mean, the thing is, if I'm stranded on an island in a pinch and there's no food and the leprechaun's there, I'm not going to do it, but I am going to. The thought will cross my mind.
You could eat a cheeseburger. You could eat Taco Bell, Domino's on Thanksgiving, and you're still going to have turkey decorations.
Fine. Okay. Solid. All right, back to me. And I'm going to go the old school Tooth Fairy, because dude's just bringing me money. And that's a hard one to pass up. Now, there are some other ones left out there I will give you. But I mean, bro's bringing me money. That's cash money. All right, go.
I mean, I guess. This isn't even a competition here.
All right, go third round. Last one.
I'm going with the Easter Bunny. I've got the big 3.
It's his day, and I forgot.
Yeah, I'm going Easter Bunny. And my team is like...
that's fine.
The 90s bowls.
Okay, well, I will go. Lastly, this could have been a number 1 pick, but I'm going with the Easter pumpkin, or the Halloween pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. That was obvious.
Yeah, that one's good. It's candy. So, all the way through my draft, I went leprechaun, bears, candy, money. You can't really pass that. That was good. I went for the simple pleasures in life. Whatever. We'll see. Time will tell whether you won that or not. So that's fine. All right. You said last week you came at us with some Don Tolliver, but and you you rued the fact that you had not been listening to much new music. Did you take that as an action item? Did you bring us a banger of the week?
I'm gonna be straight up with you. Not really,
Mhm.
but I will say, Morgan has been on a Michael Jackson kick lately. So every time she's
That's
driving,
solid.
Michael Jackson hops on the radio. With the movie coming up here, I think April 24th. I do want to see that, by the way. Um, I gotta go Michael Jackson. And the first one that pops into my mind, taking me back to 5th grade at Rocky River, Man in the Mirror music class.
That's a solid choice. That is a solid choice. I do have a follow-up question on this. As she's delved into the Michael Jackson, she is this to extend back to Jackson 5 Michael Jackson, or is this solo career Michael Jackson?
Strictly solo career. And more specifically, not too sure why, but every time I get in the car, Dirty Diana's playing. So
Oh,
that
that's a
would be
good
her
one.
number one.
That's Dirty Diana, good. Thriller, obviously. Beat It, Billie Jean, PYT. That's a good one. Have you heard that one? Okay.
Bro,
That's
everybody's heard that one.
whatever. Anyway, that was good. Hey, stuck on the indie side this week. You know, going to Empire of the Sun in August. I've been listening to a lot of Empire of the Sun, Goth Babe, M83, you know, the Milky Chance, that genre. So I'm going Reunion by M83 this week. It's a solid song. Check that bad boy out. I did. What was this one? I almost went. What was it this week? Here I Am by UB40, but I didn't. And I almost went Welcome to Jamrock by Damian Marley. Both
I
good
know that
songs.
one.
So yeah. So but I didn't. So Reunion M83. But so that's I had one other shout out this week, but I was gonna before we wrap this bad boy up, you got anything else for us?
Happy Easter.
My guy coming home next week. I'm pretty jazzed.
Yeah, next episode we'll be sitting together on that couch there with 6 to 7 beers in our hands.
Yeah, 6 to 7 each.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh,
That's
that's
what I meant. That's what I meant.
So as we plan for this show, do I fill the beer fridge over there, or do we ask for Beans and Morgan to be our showrunners?
I think that we should create a system of pulleys out the front door and into that
breathing
window
apparatus.
to your right.
That's actually we go and find like an erector set at Walmart, build like a system
We're
to the
gonna
front
build
door.
a Rube Goldberg machine that ends with a beer in my hand. You know what those are?
No.
It's like the machines where like the marble bounces on the thing and then it knocks the domino over and the domino hits a ball and the ball rolls, and you know what I'm talking about.
I'm impressed. That seems like maybe putting your masters to use.
No, not that. That's a throwback to Carmody Middle School.
Yeah, okay. Straight
I'm
up.
bringing out
Right.
all the past
Pulling out the
education here
stops.
today.
Okay. That's solid. I'm proud of you. Well, I want to we're gonna send a flagrant foul. Let's get it. Positive vibes. Good luck next. I think it's starts the 8th, which is maybe like Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. To our boy's boy, but also our boy, friend of the show, Big D's son, Ryan, who will start his quest for a Florida weightlifting state championship. Let me just say, Dave's pulling a Todd Marinovich down there, just creating absolute physical specimens. Ryan's a dog. I can't believe how big he's got. I've seen some videos of him like cleaning some massive weight, deadlifting massive weight. So good luck to him. Let's bring it home. He's got the genes for it, and good luck this week. We'll be anxious to hear how he's doing. So, but that's all I have. Again, happy Easter. Enjoy your time with your family. Let's get into some honey baked hams, and we'll catch you all next week live from here in Morrison, Colorado. All right. Peace out, Nate.
Peace out, y'all.
Stay classy, Cleveland.
Come back, beat kicks and crowd noise, whistle blows.